is Point Break. Nothing like the movie, but a headland point and an accommodating light ocean swell breaking around the edge. Now let's see how to surf it. It's wise, in fact, if you're going to get consistent rides and pick the right place to catch a wave, it's vital to spend a few minutes checking out the beach conditions. Before hitting the surf and picking perfect spots for tubes or trickery, these guys spend about 10 minutes just observing the beach. To understand the surf and the details of any break, you look for the following things. How large is the swell? Where are the waves breaking? How often are the sets coming in? How many waves in each set? And which one in each set is usually the best? Unless you're armed with the info, it's left to pure chance to catch a ride as long and smooth as that one. And if you've ever done time in a casino, you'll know pure chance isn't something you want to bet on. It's been a good ride, but the wave's power is gone, and try as he might, there's nothing left. Notice the feet. He's pushing the board down into the wave, gaining acceleration by pumping his board forward until he has the speed to do his stuff. Now he's got to try and catch the power pocket of the wave again. But the problem here is wave selection, and there just ain't the drive here to have made it worth his while. Let's try again. Up into the white water and on in front. Now he's in the pocket, the zone, that part of the wave that's accelerating the massive water surging forwards to the beach. As he rides down and along the wave face, we can see the power there to drive him, pick up his speed and allow him room to turn and play. Here comes a big backhand cutback. Oh, and so nearly done. Bummer. Now things are picking up a bit. Seeing the twin break shows just how important wave selection is. The same can be said of your surfmobile. Something with heritage, but not overly self-conscious. Of course, a car that actually goes is a bonus. He's out there. Let's strip for action. Or maybe not. Time for a breather and to check out the competition from a shoreline perspective. Anyone worth watching? Nicely done, and it's all over! If that's the competition, hell, we may as well all have a go. Come on, your board's ready. A few Fu Manchu warm-ups. It's important to spend a lot of time warming up, stretching on the beach before heading into the surf. Now, some say it's good for your body and prevents injuries. But more importantly, the more elaborate your warm-up, the longer you can hide the fact that you're actually a hopeless surfer. Yeah, the warm-up's a great leveler. Unfortunately, once you've got on your board and paddled out there, guys like this make catching a wave look so easy. You can hear them on the beach. It's nothing. Yeah, I'd be snapping a couple of cutbacks about here. More easily mastered than even the warm-up is hanging by the car and wearing the shades. Not a lot to it, just keep your eyes on the beach and the sun off your eyes. Shades on at all times. Nice ride, pulled a bit of pace out of the wave. Time for the death of Huey Duck. Perfect! Taking a wave at speed like this just makes for a shorter ride. My toy. Surfing is a sport centred on playfulness, using the occasional might of nature to play around, challenge yourself, and just hang in beautiful weather out on the coast with like-minded people. One of the major benefits being, if you master the warm-up and by the car sunglass wearing, you spend enough time out there on the water and you can surf as sweet and controlled as this. Oh, what's our camera dude doing hanging out in the bushes? Did he get any decent footage of the action going on behind those shrubs, eh? Did he? Well, if he did, when do we get to see it? Oh, a bird. Almost exactly what I was hoping to see. Almost. Yeah, thanks. More birds hanging out by the car. I get it, and you tried, yep. I mean, you asked for shots of birds on the beach in the middle of this, and you'd think you'd get it. What do I have to do, draw pictures? This is a classic bar break, messy and dangerous. And this is a classic type waiting for a break in a bar. Given their powerful physiques, surfers on a few drinks can end up equally as messy and dangerous. Skateboarding has much in common with surfing, but operates, well, according to skateboarders, in a more challenging environment. We're skating San Francisco, all parts in all ways. The art of street skating. Practice in the bowl, work on your pace on a ramp, but the ultimate in skateboarding is the ability to master your deck out there on the street. The idea being to ride through anything that comes your way. Note that through can of course mean over, across, along, and on top of. In fact, the more levels and features of the environment you skate that you're good enough to contact with your board, the better a skater you are. city traffic departments don't always approve. So let's get some practice in at a nice, safe bowl. So let's see this in action, out where it counts. High-speed rail slide, coming into one copybook heel kick. Sweet! And a touch more difficulty, the hell kickflip. And back to the beautiful blue. More board riding, but on a far more forgiving surface. Except when it swells up and smacks you right off the board. The crossover of skills between surfing and skateboarding is readily apparent. Just check the footwork and the upper body control. Please do not try and dismount your skateboard with any of the methods shown here. Adrenalize accepts no responsibility for injuries incurred trying to prove the sporting similarities. Now that was a tail slide. Same movement, same name, and same feeling on surf or on wheels. So what kind of board do you use up here then, eh? At a stretch, I'd call them sailboards. But that's pushing the point a little too far, really. And pushing right off the highest point around, that's what we've got in mind. Notice the angle and speed of ascent once a hang glider pushes off the cliff into the thermal updrafts. These rising warm air currents are a feature of alpine regions, allowing hang gliders almost endless flight time. And when they land like this, that flight time's just as well. Grace of the hang glider outtake number 1. Now let's get back to where we belong. Now these aren't seagulls. If they were, you'd sure not want to get pooped on by one of them. Hang gliding came from the endless hours spent watching alpine birds effortlessly soaring up and circling endlessly, with the only work required a minor navigational adjustment. The trick to navigating a hang glider takes some mastery. The glider is steered by shifting your body weight across the bar in front and below you. Your body weight defines the angle of flight. Pushing right sends the glider into a turn to the right, but the difficulty is in coming out of that turn. To regain a central line, you have to right the kite's balance by overcompensating and shifting your weight left. Once the glider responds, by pulling out of the right turn and centering to turn left, it's a high-speed and inch-perfect shuffle to the middle again, or off you go into a spiralling left turn. Overcompensation on turns has seen most hang gliding injuries and deaths. Inexperience or mere misjudgment can see a glider spin into a sharp, uncontrolled, spiralling descent that is rarely death-defying. But oddly, of course, given the perverse pleasure of extreme sports, it's that very sense of danger and release that makes this such a moving and exhilarating experience. Back on the ground, you invariably feel as high as a kite. Now this is some acrobatic hang glider control. Tight turns and repeated changes of direction can only be done in the mountain and hillside reaches, where constant updrafts will collect a glider every time and lift it to safety. And a stylish landing at last. You wouldn't believe how many landings we've filmed to finally catch a couple that didn't look like miniature reruns of the Hindenburg. If the Greeks had had a bit of aluminium and high-tech canvas, the mythology of flight could have changed us forever. Who knows how it might have been? Perhaps the glider would have been as ubiquitous as the wheel. Well, forgive me, one does tend to get a bit lyrical, flying in serene and chilly silence, high above the world and its worries, like this. If you've never done it, take a moment and imagine. The longboard! If you've caught Adrenalize surfing episodes in the past, you'll be familiar with my love of the longboard. And here's the beach loony. Excellent! If you've never surfed before, forget the image industry and that little is lovely. Oh, no. Go for size and length every time. These are the original big mamas, the godparents of surfing, and they open up the ability to ride to everybody. Don't forget to rinse while you're in there. These boys are accomplished, are showing levels of longboard control and trickery I can only dream of. Or claim I can do with my shades on and during the beach warm-ups, of course. The longboard is forgiving of the least able rider. There's so much fiberglass in contact with the wave that the power pocket is almost anywhere, and even in amongst the white water, a refreshing and fun ride is yours. The sort of ride that you can sit back on the beach and exaggerate about for days. A contrast to energy expended keeping these shortboards up and at the wave. The precise balance needed for a shortboard is the main reason surfing's perceived as difficult. Foot placement is vital, and the weight change from front to back keeps you upright, or sees you off. Which is a good way to say see ya. We're off too. Thanks for hanging on this episode of Adrenalize.